with somebody for, so many minutes and it's just straight, it's no breaks.
Yeah.
It's zero breaks unless, you go outside the ring and then they reset you. It's no breaks. You're consistently going at one another and like you're trying to force your will on another man and then you're trying to get the proper technique. And then I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's intense. And, I used to get made fun of a lot for it in high school. Oh, singlets, this and that kind of stuff.
People were stupid. They didn't know. Yeah. They don't know that you can fucking put them on their neck right then and there.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I know. That's why I legit hate it. I hated high school for a lot of reasons, and people were one of them. But yeah, I mean, the conditioning was like, you don't know what a wrestler goes through. Training, what a lot of them do to like make weight. We used to run shotguns up all 4 flights of Niagara Falls High School stairs.
No joke.
20 times a practice.
Shit.
Not every practice, but at least once or twice a week. 4 flights up and down and just go continuously. Wouldn't stop. And, you didn't want to be lapped. You don't want anything like that. That's just a small piece of the conditioning. To me, there's nothing more... I feel like wrestling is like the perfect sport. It's 1 versus 1. It's, obviously there are rules depending, the different rules depending on which style of wrestling you go to. But, to be able to sort of safely, but outwork and outstrength, outthink
right.
another person who's sometimes typically about the same age, definitely the same weight class as you. It's a legit. It's a weird chess match.
Yeah,
and I think it's like I look at that and I'm like, okay, football's cool. It's got the theatrics and this and that. It's team based. That's cool. Like hockey on skates, this and that. Wrestling, you're in the middle of a mat with people watching you, staring face to face at your opponent the entire time. Can't take your eyes off them. You can't, like you said, you can't stop. You can't, oh man, I'm going to call this play.
Right.
No, it's
you got to think on the fly.
Think on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I see he's biting every time I move this way. Now I got to do something like this. It's very mentally, like it's
very strategic. Very strategic.
Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And I'm very thankful for all like the work ethic it all gave me. It's wrestling. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. As a kid, I didn't get much into sports. I tried football when I was younger. I didn't like it. Baseball, bowling, basketball, just so many other things. And then once I finally got to wrestling, that was the one thing I really excelled at.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of good life lessons that came with it. A lot of good people. So yeah,
made some good friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
You just recently did an interview with your high school coach, right, Coach Izzy?
I did.
Coach Izzy.
Yep, Izzy Martinez. Section 6 WrestleCast is the name of that podcast, and it's the first of its kind. It's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite shows that I do because it's localized and like people like legit grab onto it. It's such a cool feeling. But yeah, I got to interview my old high school wrestling coach Izzy Martinez recently, and it was just good to sit down. I haven't sat down and talked with him in over 10 years. So it was like half hour, 40 minutes or whatnot, but it was a meaningful half hour, 40 minutes.
That's what's up.
So it was just a great conversation. Great conversation.
2-point conversation.
Yay.
Plug.
Another plug.
Plug.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, man. Rocking my 2-point conversation shirt. Y'all can't see it.
I got your, I wore your Sport Your Enthusiasm shirt to Hershey Park. So
nice.
I got to put it through the wash. I got a little Reese's Cup stain on it.
Hey, man.
It's not a stain, but it's, it'll come out, I swear.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Yo, so how did you come up? Like, what was your whole process of coming up with your 2-point conversation podcast?
Oh man, I actually really love talking about this.
Yeah, let's hear it. I don't think I ever heard the story.
All right, so I actually discussed doing a football podcast probably 3 years before I actually did one. But the more I've always been a football fan, but I got more seriously into it when I started doing fantasy football in 2015. And I would try to talk. I would try to post stuff on Facebook, on social media. And, there'd be people who just rip your opinion apart, my opinion apart. And I hated it. Like, it hurt because I would I'd be so upset. I don't want to fight with anybody and argue with anybody with anything. So I'd just be like, okay, I'll just delete this post and I'll just pretend it never happened.
Man.
And like it's people are like, oh, you sound like a bitch, but it's like that's just my thought process. If it's something I love, I should be able to talk about it, have discussions with people freely about it, and not have to worry about my opinion being, just buried. And I get it. I don't know everything about football, and I still admit that to this day. But if you're going to criticize somebody for their opinion on something, don't just straight up shit on it. If you're going to offer a counterpoint and just talk to them and understand where they're coming from.
Right.
Nobody gave me that time of day. Yeah. And trust me, I can name names. I still remember who those people were. But they did. They made me feel like shit. And, once everything started rolling with the podcasting, I was like, man, you know what? I really got to go through with this. I really, really love talking about football. And basically what I can do is, if my mentality of actually doing the podcast was, if people like what I have to say, they'll listen. If not, they won't listen. Podcast, I mean, it's hard for some people to sit through podcasts. It really, truly is. So that's why I, decided, come up with the podcast theme, which was, what was my original slogan? It's only been a year and a half. Politic free, penalty free, no BS football talk. That was my theme. Because I hated, and I understood, the implicate, everybody's into politics, so there's a lot of reason that people are into the political stuff, but politics are ugly conversation, especially nowadays. Those conversations have to be had sometimes, but it brings out the worst in people. That's the great divide right now.
Yeah, election time is coming up.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
You about to see nothing but online banter and back and forth. Oh my God. It's about to get bad.
It drove me nuts. I might have to delete my Facebook again. But it was like starting to become a thing with football, and it shouldn't have been. So I was like, okay, that's not going to be discussed. That's those sort of things are, people see that on ESPN all the time. Sports Center, if they want their fix of that, they can go to that. That's fine. My thing is just trying to talk about the actual game of football, the on-field stuff, and just have good conversations about that. And that's what it turned into. I started it last June, 2018, and I've had just really, really good conversations with people, since that, like-minded people, you know what I mean? Like yourself, like Ed, and so many others who come on my show. They respect, the boundaries I have set, essentially, as to what it is. Like we'll clown around a little bit, but everything's pretty much, like a bit of a respect thing. And we do pretty good with that so far. Even the Facebook page, I was surprised that the Facebook page has done as well as it has. Because
I love your Facebook page.
I appreciate that very much. I put as much effort as I can into it. Yeah, but social media, that ugly place that helped me create this brand, as I like to call it. How are they going to take it? How much would I have to exhaust myself to mediate it? And luckily I've only had, maybe 2 instances where I had to be like, hey, this isn't what we do here. This isn't one of those trash talking places. It's like a new person. And, I was just like, this is what we do here. Yeah.
And if you are going to trash talk, cause I'll go in there and for instance, Andrew Lenz, shout out to Andrew.
Andrew's a good dude.
Yeah. He'll throw little jabs out there, but it's nothing, it's tasteful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When he said, when we posted, what he put, I did the prediction. The Lamar Jackson prediction. And
that was David Bean. He said the Josh Allen thing.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
But Andrew did
something else as well. And then he's like, the Fitzmagic is going to take over or something like that.
Yeah, double Fitzmagic.
Right. And I remember going back and then laughing at the post and then posting there's a bunch of Lamar Jackson gifts. But yeah, just little stuff like that. That's tasteful. It's fun banter. It's back and forth. There's nothing disrespectful.
Yeah.
You can talk shit without being disrespectful.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's a certain way to do it.
Right.
And it's very hard to do it over social media and text format. It's really weird. It really depends on what kind of mindset you're in.
You just got to be savvy enough to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that difficult. It's just you got to be intelligent enough to do it. Intelligent people can figure it out.
I apparently have it figured. I guess I have it figured out a little bit easier than I thought, but
a lot of people don't. I think you got it. I think you can definitely do it.
I do. Yeah. And and nobody. I really truly value everybody's opinions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I truly value everybody's opinions. That's even if how many times have I had to go on that the page and put up a poll? Oh, who do you think is going to win the culture of this team and see it? And I'm just like, you know what? That's cool. I respect it. People say oh, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the AFC South this year. Awesome. I'm glad that I'm genuinely glad that you believe that that way. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Who am I to be like, fuck you, you're wrong.
A Colts fan? You'll be a Colts fan, man. A passionate Colts fan. That's all.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though.
But you don't
respect everybody's opinion.
Exactly. It can be done. It can be done that way. And I hope that I've been able to do that. There's been some bold proclamations. Everybody, we all come from different backgrounds, different thought processes. Obviously,
that's a fact.
Very different football teams, and if I was to criticize somebody who had an opinion that different from mine, then I'd be no better than anybody else.
Right.
So that's always been my mentality.
I like that. I respect that a lot too. So for me, growing up with liking football in general, and the family and my family, and then my group of friends, and then talking football and stuff like that, I've gotten both aspects of it, and I've seen myself evolve in my football love, knowledge, and the way I talk about it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So growing up football, you're watching it, you learn. I learned a lot of football playing Madden.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I was a Madden junkie. I come home from school and play Madden until I go to bed and do not do my homework. So, you know what I'm saying? And then, watch the games and, stuff like that. So, I picked up a lot of knowledge, doing that. And it got to the point, it was a point in my life where I was literally a football junkie. It was bad. It was legit bad. It was to the point where you can ask me the height and weight of any player on any team, and I would literally know it.
I don't even got that much.
This shit was stupid, impressive. Yo. It was fucking stupid how bad it was. So I was like, yo. So then I remember I was doing a football blog when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I was it's SB Nation, and I was doing the Baltimore Ravens blog. It's called the Baltimore Beatdown. Actually still going right now. But I remember every day, I'm at school, I'd be on the blog, and I'm talking with other Ravens fans. And I remember I posted a couple of typed up a couple of joints postings, and I remember a couple of them got published on the actual page and stuff.
Oh, no kidding!
I'm just some random dude in Niagara Falls just talking on a blog of for grown ass men. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing that for a while, and that was fun. And then talking with friends about football, talking with family about football, it had both aspects of it. Because I remember starting off early, I was just shit talking you don't know shit. Fuck your opinion.
Yeah.
Your team sucks. Blase, this and that. And then, it kind of evolved from there where it's I'm still talking shit to you, but I'll listen to your point. In a
humorous way. Yes,
right. I'll listen to your point. You may make a valid point. I'm like, man, fuck your opinion, but you're right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've said on a couple of episodes, of Sports for Enthusiasm, I see the way you and Ed go, your guys banter. Yeah. And it's, you guys go back and forth, but I could tell it's in good
It's
spirit.
in good nature. Yeah, yes. Nothing, when me and Ed were doing SYE, it's nothing personal taken.
Yeah.
We'll talk shit about one another's teams, we'll talk shit about one another's opinions and stuff like that. But it's in good natured fun.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't take any offense to it.
Very malicious. And I get it. I get it. Not between you guys, but in general, NFL fans. And I get it. Football's a rough sport. I get it. And I'm not here to tell people how to be fans or anything, but I feel like there's conversations of lost art with people, and
I think it's a certain line you don't cross as well.
Yes.
When you start getting doing personal attacks, that's when it starts to be I don't know about that. You like this team, man. Yeah, you got to be a fucking dumbass bitch or some shit.
Yeah,
like that.
Just along those lines. Yeah,
yeah, that's when it gets a little bit overboard.
Yeah, it's
when you start to do personal attacks on somebody, then it's all right, man. Maybe you need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, it's not that serious. You're not on the field,
right? Exactly.
And I don't like going to Bills games anymore.
Me neither. I'm not
for
going,
that reason.
The Ravens that come into Buffalo, I'm not going to that game.
Hell no.
Not unless I got a posse with me, because I know it's going to be a fight. I'm wearing my Ravens gear. I'm going to be talking, I'm going to be cheering for my team.
Yeah.
There's going to be some rowdy ass Bills fan that's drunk and want to start some shit. I'm not no bitch.
And there's always
shout out to Mike Scott. Did you see that, by the way? The NBA player that got into a fight at the Eagles game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he plays for the Sixers, my favorite team.
Good on him.
Yeah, and
I've seen what it was about too.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Scott. He ain't no bitch. But yeah, it's one of those things where like I'm not going to that game unless like I gotta